Sleepy Joe and Kamala lock 'em up Harris. Let's talk about it. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm pretty sure y'all have heard by now that Joe Biden picked Kamala Harris to be his vice president. I find it interesting, very interesting that he picked Kamala, and I think it speaks to just the American political system that he did end up picking Kamala, and I'll explain what I mean by that later on in the video. But Kamala and Joe on the ticket, yeah, some parts of the country were very happy about it. Other people were more cynical about it. I'm kind of in the middle, leaning more towards cynical, just because for me, Joe and Kamala, their political records, it it don't move my spirit in a good way. It moves my spirit, but not in a good way. Joe, he's known for that crime bill. He's he's Joe's just not it. That's what we're gonna say. Joe ain't it. I have my own reservations just about him being in the office, the highest office of the land, because I don't think Joe's on there. If I'm being quite honest, there were times during the presidential debates that Joe just mentally, I was just like, "Are you home? Is anyone home? Is the lights on? Are you good? Like, what's going on?" And then his interviews, his interactions, especially his interactions with African American voters, just cringeworthy. That fool went on Breakfast Club and really said, "You not black if you ain't vote for me." He really said that, and what's even crazier is he got away with it, y'all. And then we got Kamala, that's what I like to call her, Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was a former district attorney, or as I like to call, a cop with a law degree, because that's really all they are. She has some problematic political records, specifically her past with parents and their kids skipping school. She, approved or supported a bill that would disproportionately impact parents of color and parents in low-income households. She went on Breakfast Club talking about she smoked weed in college and was listening to Tupac, but Tupac didn't even release his music yet. So I'm just like, it's giving me very much pandering tease. Kamala seems like the type of person who she expects you to vote for her just because she's one of us. But I'm just like, Kamala, sweetie, that's not enough for me. That's not enough. You gotta give us more. You gotta give us something more than that. Because if you just gonna expect me to vote for you because you're not Trump, well, actually, damn, maybe that is the case. I just find this entire thing very interesting because it really speaks to the fact that this American political system is so fucked up. Like, we literally, our election boils down to, on one hand, we have a senile old white dude who is an alleged sexual abuser. Then on the other hand, we have an old senile white dude, an alleged sexual predator. So I'm just like, the American political system, this two-party system, it really came back to bite us in the butt because neither of these political candidates, in my opinion, are desirable. They don't motivate me. They don't inspire me. I think they both trash. If I had my way, Bernie Sanders would be president, but obviously that's not going to happen. The Democratic Party is a mess. Trump, he came in office and he just did whatever the fuck he wanted. He's had a field day since January 20th, 2017. He been doing whatever the fuck he wants to. The Republicans ain't gonna check him. The Democrats have done a piss poor job of checking him. The impeachment hearings we had back in, was that this year? God damn, man, time is starting to blur together. I can't even remember. I just think our two options for president, it just speaks volumes to how flawed and messed up our political system is and how desperate this political system needs to change. Because this two-party system, it don't really leave you with much of an option. The way I feel, each political cycle, each presidential cycle, whether you select in senators, judges, president, whatever, anytime you vote, it really just boils down to who's gonna fuck me over the least. That's really what it comes down to. The lesser of two evils. or not even who gonna fuck you over the least, who's gonna do a better job at concealing it. That's really what it comes down to. Both parties are trash, but at this point, it's just trying to figure out who gonna fuck me over the worst, and trying to decide a candidate. And as far as Joe and Kamala goes, I think Joe picking Kamala just speaks to how quick things can change within American politics, because I'm pretty sure y'all all remember Kamala taking her ass on that debate stage and basically insinuating that Joe was racist because he was in favor of the busing bill. That entire exchange was very cringe to me. I remember watching it. I remember watching that live and being like, oh shit. And for him just to turn around and pick Kamala, like, I would want to be a fly on the wall on that phone call just to hear what that was like and how that entire interaction transpired. That was almost a year ago, and now a year later, Kamala his VP pick. I personally don't think either one of them are that fond of each other, but they're just doing what needs to be done to win the office and get Trump out of here. Now, on that note about getting Trump out of here, let me make it perfectly clear. I'm a never Trumper. If Trump was on fire and the only thing that could put him out was my spit, guess who's gonna swallow their spit? But on the same breath, it's just like, damn, you really gonna make me choose this old ass pedophile and this cop? Like, that's what I'm left with. And then I see on Twitter, there are people who were like, oh, so you're, like, if you criticize Joe and Kamala and you hold them accountable, basically. They're like, oh, so you gonna vote for Trump? No, nigga. No, nigga. We can do two things at the same time, and two things can be true at the same time. Trump is a fucking horrible president and he needs to go. But Joe Biden and Kamala, they don't inspire me. They don't motivate me to run to the polls and vote for them. Two things can be true. I'm not gonna vote for Trump. So I mean, by default, I guess they get my vote, but that don't mean I gotta like it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna probably go in that booth on November 3rd or November 4th or whatever day it is. I'm gonna go in that booth. I'm gonna probably 9 times out of 10 pick Biden and Kamala, and I'm gonna be mad about it the entire time. And I have every right to feel that way. People are allowed to critique their lawmakers or politicians. That's what we're supposed to do. So as far as I'm concerned, people are allowed to be upset. People are allowed to critique and hold these politicians accountable. And just because we're doing that, that does not mean that Trump automatically gets our vote or we're, pro-Trump. But at the same time, I understand that people could see our two options, Trump and Pence, Biden and Harris, and just be like, fuck this shit, I'm not voting. If there's a low turnout, I won't be surprised. And I'm not just talking about black voter turnout. I mean just nationally. If there's a low turnout, I won't be the least bit surprised, because both of these candidates are fucking trash, and neither one of them, in my opinion, deserve to be president. That's just my opinion. So like I said, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Now I will say, on a less cynical note, I do think these debates are going to be very entertaining. I mean, hell, ever since Trump became president, the American political discourse has been entertaining. And I don't think it should be that way, but I mean, hell, we're here, so I might as well enjoy the ride while we're on it. It's been very entertaining. And I definitely think the debates, the vice presidential debates, oh, you best believe I'm going to be watching that, because Kamala is a lot of things, but one thing that woman can do is debate, and she's going to dig in Pence's ass, and that's going to be a show, so I would definitely be tuned in for that. And then the Trump versus Biden debate, that's just going to be hilarious, because Trump is a fucking idiot. Biden is just not all there, so that will be very interesting to watch. Watching Trump, who has the vocabulary of like a 5th grader, watching him trying to debate Biden, who's just mentally not all there, that's going to be very, very entertaining. So, I mean, that's probably the only good thing that'll come out of this entire thing. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. At this point, I don't even know who's going to win. Like, it literally could go either way. And if he does lose, that will be very funny, because I don't think he's the type to lose with dignity. I don't think he'll concede or just bow out. Like, he's gonna make a shit show out of this. He's gonna make it a whole spectacle. Watching Trump actively try to defund the United States Postal Service in the middle of a pandemic, when people don't want to go in person to vote, so they rather mail in their ballots, but he doesn't want to like that. That we're literally watching voter suppression in real time, and that is wild. But yeah, that's my spill on this entire thing. If you liked this video, please leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. And there are more videos to come. Y'all stay safe out in these streets and don't do anything I wouldn't do. I'll see y'all later.